Hello everybody, this is Annelies from Insights Consulting. I'm at Insights Consulting heading the innovation department, and next to that I'm also passionate about research innovation, about observational research and finding new consumer insights. And today I would like to share with you a case study we have done for diesel. And basically what I'm going to talk about is how we increased through research the value of the diesel Pinterest page. So let's have a look together. First of all, let's look back at the old world. If you look at the old world, marketeers were in control, and we were typically sending out messages and people had the opportunity to react on it. Today, however, we see that consumers are increasingly moving into the driver's seats more than ever before, and we see in fact that marketing is moving towards marketing to people, to really working with consumers. We collaborate with them today, and as I said, we need to move from marketing to fans to marketing through fans. So to do so, many marketeers, also the people at Diesel, they tap into the power of social media, and but in order to do, I would say, marketing in this new reality, a lot of questions are raised. For example, how can I find good consumer insights to determine my social media strategy? Or what content can I best use to engage people, and how can I evaluate success of my actions on social media? And exactly, we got a similar question also from the brands or the people at Diesel a while ago. And basically, they wanted to know what the value was of their Diesel Pinterest page, and moreover, they wanted to see how they could increase that value. Well, how do you start by increasing or measuring the value of a social media page? I don't know, maybe as an introduction, who knows Pinterest, but Pinterest is in fact best comparable with an online scrapbook, and users can post or pin visual content into boards or collections, and they can, of course, pin things that they find interesting or lifestyle ideas. Pinterest actually recently got a lot of attention from the marketing side because it has as a platform a couple of distinctive characteristics. First of all, as you can see, it is a very visual platform, and that makes it in a way ideal to present products and also to draw the attention of consumers. It's a bit of like a personal online catalog where consumers can pin and collect their wish list of products they would like to possess. And the visual nature of this platform makes it also a great platform, I would say, for branding. Through the visuals you can express easily your brand personality. A second reason why Pinterest became so popular is because it has a quite unique demographic profile. It's mainly attracting women. And finally, and I would say last but not least, it's also one of the platforms with one of the highest conversion rates. So recent statistics shows that it drives more referral traffic to retailer and company websites than any other social media platform around. So I'm no surprised people from Diesel were interested in using this platform to connect also better with females in their target group. And as you can see here on the screen, this is the platform that they actually already had before we launched the study, and so far they only mimicked what they have been doing so far on Facebook on their Pinterest page. But early 2013, also seeing the increasing popularity of Pinterest, they wanted to develop a digital strategy of its own. So we got the challenge to find out, okay, what is the value of the Pinterest page. And you can say that is easy because most often if you look at how we measure value of social media, it's typically done through behavioral measures. We look at the number of likes, the number of followers, and we focus mainly on reach. But what does that really mean? You can say, in fact, that generating reach on a Facebook page or a Pinterest page is pretty easy. You can even buy it today. In a way, it's probably only a reflection of low-value consumer brand commitments, and real value lies, I would say, rather in creating real engagement and brand intimacy with consumers. So I think when we want to measure the real value of a Pinterest page, we had to go further, and that's also what we did in this project. The first thing we looked at is we found out and we checked brand identification. When it comes to the online sphere, we often call somebody a fan, but well, we need to measure brand identification to see to what extent the people that are following you are really fans. And secondly, it's also about brand advocacy, because if people are into your platform, they will also help your brand, and if they're really engaged, so they will start talking about your brand both online and offline. And ultimately, and we should definitely not forget about it, it's also about conversion, because as I said before, Pinterest is very suitable to drive traffic to the, I would say, the web shop of Diesel, so we also want to know to what extent there's an impact there. So that's on the impact side. Secondly, it's also easy to say, okay, the second question, we want to know what content we want to put there to engage people. And again, the easiest strategy is just to look at what you already do, for example, on Facebook, or in the case of Diesel, their online catalogs, and put the same content on the Pinterest case. But you can really wonder if this is, in fact, really engaging. So quite some challenges when measuring and answering this research question, and we decided to accept this challenge, and we made use of a hybrid methodology. And basically there were three elements helping us out. First of all, we had social media listening. And in social media listening, we observed through a social media monitoring tool what the engagement was with the current content on Pinterest. You see a screen here, and what we could track, for example, the number of followers, the number of pins, repins on the current content. We could determine the top content, etc. It was an ideal tool, I would say, to find out and to capture what was going on already today on their Pinterest page. But in addition, we also needed to have some more things, and we also conducted social media ethnography. Now, ethnography is often confused with social media listening, and in fact, indeed, you start also from user-generated content, but instead of just monitoring it, you're going to do an in-depth qualitative analysis on it, and you're going to use that to get insights. So that's also what we did here. So we collected on Pinterest the content of different people, and we in fact grouped that based on the applying the principles of visual ethnography into personas. And here you see on the left side such digital persona. What it tells us is it clusters in fact people that are engaged by similar kinds of content. So like you see here, this is a persona that likes, for example, food, do-it-yourself, a little bit of kids, actually somebody who's interested in crafting, etc., etc. So that was the second element of our toolbox. And finally, we also conducted activation mapping, so quantitative survey. And this is important because if you just rely yourself on the digital content and on user-generated content which is already there, you cannot tell anything about the profile. So we used this quantitative survey for profiling current followers of Diesel Pinterest page. Also Pinterest users that did not follow the Diesel page yet, but were in fact into the target group of Diesel, and also the online targets. And all three groups were invited to take part in the quantitative study, and we asked them profiling information, but also inform their lifestyle, passion points. We measured their activation profile, and in fact we also presented them the digital personas that I just showed to you, and they were able to indicate what kind of digital persona they found most engaging. So what did we bring to the table? Well, basically we assessed their impact in terms of three, I would say on three frontiers. The first one was on the matter of knowledge leverage. So first of all, we wanted to see what could we teach Diesel, what kind of new insights did they got from the study. And basically there were two things we were able to show them. The first thing was on the value of their current Pinterest page. And just without sharing you all the conclusions, I can tell you that the current followers of the page were huge fans. That's something that we discovered. But they really liked Diesel a lot. They bought a lot of Diesel clothing. They also said that they were very likely to go and shop again. They visited the online store, etc., etc. So they were clearly huge fans. But what the result also showed is that there were no advocates at all at Pinterest. And the numbers here show that there were only very few followers, and also if you looked at repinning and liking behavior, this was not very high. So there were fans but no advocates. To share with you then more on the second thing that we could teach Diesel, well basically we could give them advice or rules on what makes them those followers stick. So what is engaging them? What kind of content? And to do so, in fact, we made use of the concept of self-identification. So basically, in our opinion, if you want to find out what is engaging people on social media, you should see what they identify themselves with personally. And in fact, as a brand, you want to post content that overlaps with the identity of your target group. Let me make this a little bit more concrete for you. So basically what we did for Diesel is, first of all, among the current followers and also the other groups in the study, we identified what makes it tick in general in life. And you see here a kind of segmentation. I'm not going to explain all the axes, but what is important is that the current followers on the Diesel page were basically engaged by things like I'm looking for fun in life, excitement is very important, I don't like status quo. So they were really people who were looking for change in their life. And on the other hand, what was also important for them were their looks. They like to show off, they use like luxury brands, trendy products, they like to impress people. So this is the kind of thing that generally makes them engaged in their day-to-day life, their lifestyle. In addition, what we could do is we could link also their digital persona to that. And here you see, in fact, one of the personas that was mostly present among the current Diesel followers. And what we see here is that typically people there are engaged in let's say alcoholic liquors, for example, or they also like to pin pictures on their body and like how to keep it in shape. They also like luxury, like labels and celebrities, jacuzzis, those kind of things. So that was one persona. We also discovered that there was a second persona among the followers which was completely different, and although they showed the same behavior and showed same actions, the type of content they were engaged about was completely different. You see an overview of them here. So the more we have called them the more mainstream. They're still into fashion and into looks, but not so luxury as the previous segment. They like to have like achievable fashion. Also they like home decoration, they like coziness. That are elements that are very important and engaging for them. So that was what we were able to teach them on knowledge leverage. But then the real impact is not only on what insights we bring, but also on what the brand can do with it. So to what extent could we move from insights to action? And basically what we did to improve this is, instead of just presenting the results, we decided to organize a research art exhibition. And you can see some pictures of this exhibition here. But basically we had on the wall different personas. We created probing cards that allowed the people from Diesel to interact with the content on the wall. So rather than just presenting the results, they could in fact interact with it and discover the results, also through several games like you can see on the right side. So it was more an interactive research art exhibition than just presenting the results. And what we saw is that also by changing the way in which we were presenting results, we really had quite a big impact on the marketing team of Diesel. Here you see some quotes after this workshop where they said, okay, after this workshop now I really know what I need to do. Or this workshop was so useful because now finally I don't only know the knowledge, but also I know how I can create new content. Also the visual approach really stimulated people to capture the content and do something. But however, the proof I think is of the pudding is only in the eating. So what is most important to us is that we found that Diesel actually started using the content and the learnings. And to give you an example, so as I said, one of the digital personas that was currently on their Pinterest page were like the model mainstreams. And they, as you can see on the picture, were looking for fashion, but the fashion had to be more achievable. They didn't like any catwalk images or things that were too hard for them to copy. So basically what Diesel did as a reaction of that is one of the new boards that they created during the summer was shown much more in, we also they showed their fashion and their new collection, their beachwear collection, but in a much more natural style. So what you see, instead of all pictures of bikinis, which is only one of them on this board, you see a lot of pictures just setting the mood, and also the Diesel clothing are worn in a very natural setting. And what we see is that people actually like this board, the content of this board much better. So this is how they use the impact. So we can definitely say they had an impact. And then last but not least, I would say, okay, even if it had an impact on diesel and you were able to translate insights into actions, did it also change consumers? And was there an uptake activation on the Pinterest page, and were we able to increase the value? Well, basically what I can share with you at this moment is that we saw in a post measurement, which we did 4 weeks after launching the new strategy, that we saw already an uptake of 25% followers of the Pinterest diesel page because of the new content. So that was one thing. Also, as I said, reach is not that important. We should also look at other measures. So we also investigate to what extent people, their identification, their advocacy, and their conversion was changing. And we saw here, you see top two boxes that, well, there were really huge increases there. So, for example, 65% said that now they identified more with the brand diesel. Also, when we looked at their intention to go to the website, to visit the store, we saw that this was increasing up to more than 60%. Top two boxes, also knowledge and buying behavior. So, through the new content, we felt that we were really able to change the heart, mind, and actions of the people, the diesel target group. And also what is important to mention is that through our research we were able to create brand enthusiasts. Often it states that research is boring and it's not engaging, but I think that by showing the content of diesel in our research, people really got enthusiastic, and we saw that as a result of showing this new content, people actually also started following spontaneously the diesel Pinterest page in half of the cases. And then finally, and I think this is the major KPI, is when we look at not only followers but also how they engaged with the content, we saw a huge uptake on repinning and liking. So over 40% of the people, percent increase on pinning behavior and over 44% on liking behavior. Also when it comes to, I would say, offline word of mouth, we saw a huge increase. So what this study shows us is, I think, a very important thing. We are in the business of consumer insights, but often when we think about social media or digital activation, we forget that also there we should start from good and solid insights. So I think my message is really that when measuring value of this kind of activations, we should move from research to relevance. So thank you for listening. I'm not sure if there are any questions from the audience.